Hey, what's up guys? It's Akamaru here, and today we are having another Dark Souls 3 video, and I know there's been a lot of Dark Souls, but the Dark Souls is about to end, well, kind of. Um, I'm done with all the streaming for Dark Souls 3, all the adventures of Sylvester Smith, my Dark Souls character. Sylvester Smith has 138 hours um, played with him, and a lot of it has been stream. I have, I think, 12 episodes, 12 streams, each around an hour. It's been a lot of streaming, but it's been a lot of fun. And today I just kind of want to talk about what I think about Dark Souls 3 as a game. I really enjoy the game. Obviously, I have a lot of time into it. A lot of time into it. Played through 7 times. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. But I just it's gotten old. It's still a good game. Still a great game. It's just I want to do something new. But the game itself is great. The landscape, just look at the landscape here. It's great. The music is great. The bosses are some awesome bosses, like Gale. Gale was fantastic. Midir, for how challenging he is, he was a good beast fight. As good as beast fights can be. I'm usually not really a beast fight player because the camera. But I think they fixed that pretty well. Thank you for that party invite. I'm not gonna join. It's just they did a lot of good. I think FromSoft, they ended the Dark Souls trilogy on a high note for sure. They put a lot of time and effort into this game, and it shows. Yeah, when it comes to favorites, I think my favorite boss in this game is probably... I really like the princes. The princes are one of my favorite bosses, maybe the Abyss Watchers, but they're both awesome bosses. The music for both of them is amazing. My favorite optional boss is probably... I don't know. Probably Champion Gundyr is always a lot of fun. I know I like the throwback to the beginning of the game. Because how far you get into the game, and then to go back and fight the first boss is kind of cool. I really like Champion Gundyr. I also forgot about Frida. Sister Frida of the first DLC, Ashes of Ariandel, which was a short DLC. It was probably only about 2 hours. I got through it much quicker on stream because I knew where everything was, of course. I just kind of ran through. Ashes of Ariandel, just because it was short does not mean it was bad. And the only reason it was not bad was because of Sister Frida, the final boss in Father Ariandel. And that boss was terrific. One of that actually might be my favorite. It's a 3-phase fight, so it's really a battle of endurance. But it is a terrific boss. I love it. Also, the weapons are amazing. There's just a lot of very memorable bosses in this game. And I'm playing it right now, but the PvP in this game is fantastic. I love how they added the arena. I think they did very good with the arena. They balanced out the weapons pretty well. You know, they didn't. There's no things I think it's like stupidly overpowered. I mean everything is in a pretty even. I mean there's some weapons that will always be that are overpowered right now, especially like the follower saber. That's a super good weapon right now, but there's been other metas like the S-Stock meta before people learned how to parry, and And, you know, I don't really mind. I don't really mind when I see a bunch of follower sabers. It's not bad. I don't think it really ruins the PvP experience because it's not like everybody in the game is using the follower saber. Like, I haven't fought the follower saber yet today. I'm only 2 games in, but I mean, so far so good, I guess. Um, but the PvP is terrific. The game is terrific. It's so much fun. One of my favorite games ever. Not even just Souls. I think it is a super good. It's not overly challenging. It's a Souls game, so I'm not gonna say it's easy because it's not easy. It's a very challenging game, as you can tell from my streams. Um, but it's not. It's hard, but I would never say it's unfair. That's what I'm saying. It's hard, but never unfair, and that's terrific. It's hard for a game to be as challenging as Dark Souls is, but not have parts where it's just stupid at times. And yeah, there's some times that the balance, like Midir is an extremely difficult boss, but he's not unfair. He is beatable, obviously. And you know, it's a very well constructed game when it comes to difficulty. The difficulty is perfect. I mean, my first playthrough was extremely challenging. Not saying that this wasn't. It's just going in blind it's difficult. Thank you. I mean, I'm not trying to stray away from players playing Dark Souls 3 as their first Dark Souls game, because they definitely should. Dark Souls 3 is a perfect intro to the series, because Dark Souls, why am I dead? What was that? That was so weird. But Dark Souls, it doesn't really have, I'm not gonna say it doesn't have story, because it does, but all of its story isn't lore. It's all hidden story. So Dark Souls 3, pretty much all it gives you at the start of the game is Lords of Cinder, Link to the Flame. Nobody's linked to the Flame yet, so they're bringing them back. You have to kill them. That's a very simplified version of what they give you, but they don't really give you much to work with, which is great, because all the games except Bloodborne and, well, I guess Demon's Souls kind of links in, but except Bloodborne, they link in. Except Bloodborne has ties like Patches. Patches is kind of in Bloodborne, and the Moonlight Greatsword, which has been in every Souls game. So they're all linked in their own way. But the story is what links them. Like, the Abyss Watchers in this game are linked to Wolf Knight Artorias. And Artorias is linked to Midir, as you can see, because Midir takes more damage from his sword, because he was Artorias of the Abyss, and, well, he is Midir the Dark Eater, Dark Abyss, whatever. They link. And everything links together, with Gwendolyn being eaten by Aldrich, whatever, because that's a thing. So like, find out how he died. That's how Yorshka took up the mantle of the head of the Dark Moon. Which I like. I think that's cool. Also Yorshka being the half daughter of, or the full daughter, I guess, half sibling to the other ones of Gwyn, the Lord of Cinder, the first Lord of Cinder. He linked the flame, and also just being able to listen to Gwyn's song, well, his boss song from the original game, in the second phase of the Soul Cinder, the final boss of this game. It's good trade. He had the love tap spell. Just something I don't like about PvP. It's stupid Tears of Denial, the love tap spell. I don't know. But everything they have a lot of nods to the other games at Dark Souls 3, and you might not understand them if you start on Dark Souls 3. But Dark Souls 3 is not the hardest Dark Souls, I think. If you're not counting Demon Souls, because Demon Souls plays a bit differently from the rest of them. I guess as does Bloodborne, but that's just because different title is not even. Some people say it's a Souls game, some people say it's not. It's really up for debate. But there we go. Yeah, alright, sorry, I was just trying to find that ring. It's just really up for debate if it is or isn't a Souls game. Regardless, they're made by the same people, so it doesn't really matter. But I think Dark Souls 1 is the hardest, and then Dark Souls 3, and then Dark Souls 2 when it comes to difficulty. And I'm not saying start on Dark Souls 2. I mean, you can start on any of the Dark Souls. Like I said, everything is in a lore. So if you can start on whatever game you want and still understand. Well, like I said, it's all lore. It's not story. It's all lore. So I mean, you can really start on whatever, doing whatever. And I also like the variety of this game. I'm really all over the place with what I like about this game, but there's a lot I like about this game. And it's just good. It's a great game. I should have rolled. Hitboxes are a little wonky in PvE and PvP, mostly PvP, but you know, that's to be expected. Sorry, I'm just trying to focus on this. This guy is good trade. Haven't. You fell first. Oh, I fell first, so I lost. Whatever. Wow, Chuck Norris. All right, but I don't really have many complaints about this game. I mean, I'm happy and sad this is the end of the Dark Souls series. I loved the Soul series. But you know, I feel like they kind of do too many more without tarnishing the name. Like, you can only do so many of the same game without them all becoming the same game. Like, look at Call of Duty, for instance. They're all the same in a way. Everybody can debate that, but when it comes down to it, they're kind of all the same. It's you can't. The more you make of a game, the less unique the game becomes, and that's what I'm worried about with Dark Souls. That's why I'm glad they're taking a step back with the production of Souls, and I don't think there'll ever be a Bloodborne 2 either. But that's okay. I'm alright with seeing Dark Souls go. So in short, Dark Souls 3, an amazing game. You should definitely play it if you are okay with completely just it's Chuck Norris again. With many hours of rage, I guess. I mean, unless you're all just better than me, which could very well happen. But you should definitely get it. Really, really definitely get Dark Souls 3. It's a great game. I love Dark Souls. But when it comes to what I'm gonna do now on this channel, I probably won't be doing a lot of Dark Souls 3 PvP. I mean, I always can if you guys want it. I can do random weapon battles, but what I plan to do, I did the Adventures of Sylvester Smith for my Dark Souls 3. I plan to do the adventures of Sylvia Smith in Bloodborne. Now, I have little to no experience with Bloodborne, so it'll be a blind play. And I feel like that'll be more fun. You guys will see me struggle, me learn things about the game as I do. And I plan to do it in mostly the same format as I did the Adventures of Sylvester Smith, with pretty long streams, and maybe post individual videos for certain bosses. And the reason I do that with the long streams instead of like 20-minute episodes, I guess, which are probably easier to watch for you guys, is just I don't like having to cut I mean, I could always start playing, so then I would have to cut, record. I disagree. But, I mean, I could do that. I don't like, because I don't play for 20 minutes. I could just play for 20 minutes and get off, but I don't play for 20 minutes. I play for those hour game periods, few hour game periods. That's just how I play, and I don't like to stop to pause my recording and then restart the recording. I mean, that's just a personal thing, but that's just how I plan to do my streams. If you guys enjoyed the streams, perfect, because there are gonna be quite a few for Bloodborne. I assume there are gonna be more streams for Bloodborne, just because it'll probably, I think it's a shorter game than Dark Souls 3, and I don't have the DLCs yet, but I will be doing a run on the DLCs once I get them, after I finish the base game. But I think it'll be fun watching my blind playthrough of Bloodborne with Sylvia Smith. I don't know when I'll start my first stream. It might be today. I feel like it might be today. I don't know. It probably will be today when I first start. But I don't know how much more Dark Souls 3 content I'll be posting, which I bet some of you are happy for, because I've posted a ton of Dark Souls 3 content, which I've had a lot of fun playing this game. I also don't want this to just be a Soulsborne, where all I play is Dark Souls and Bloodborne games. I plan to play other games, such as I guess Code Vein, but that's a Souls-like game that comes out next year. Also, The Last of Us Part 2, that'll definitely be played. Games like that. I think I'll mostly do like playthroughs of games. And that's just because they're pretty easy because of the way PS4 is set up, where you can stream and it automatically posts to YouTube. That's just always easy. I really like that. But yeah, I think that's my plan for the channel. How I feel about Dark Souls, I feel my review on Dark Souls was all over the place. But it's a good game, good music, good lore, story, good everything. It's a really good game that you should definitely check out if you haven't before. But that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in the Adventures of Sylvia Smith.